Dude, my brain just shuts down when the pressure's on. Okay. Imagine I had to do it live cooking. Damn, I'd actually lose my fucking mind. Okay, we're gonna make a grilled cheese today. We're gonna do like French onion grilled cheese. So like kind of make French onion soup, but thick like a sauce, and then put it in between the bread. We're gonna make it like, traditionally that's not vegetarian, but we're gonna like kind of cheat it and still make it just as rich as when you use beef stock, but we'll just use some mushroom stock and we'll still make it very, very good, I promise. Let's get started. For this grilled cheese, I'm going to use 2 different types of onions, and you just want to thinly slice these. The reason I'm using 2 different types is they kind of have 2 different flavor profiles. The red ones are like a little bit sweeter, and so I just want, like, you know, since this is going to be our only sauce on this sandwich, just want it to have a little bit more depth, so I'm gonna play with the onions a little bit. High quality kitchen stuff from Amazon.ca. Jeff Bezos, man. Yeah, so I got some oil and a little bit of butter in here. The oil is just, I've explained this before, but the butter will burn, so I add a little bit of oil just so that the butter doesn't burn. And we're gonna cook these down for like a good 5 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes till they're really soft. They'll shrink quite a bit. What you can do when you're cooking onions is if you salt them right away, it'll pull out that moisture and they'll shrink even faster. And also that you should do that anyway because you should season your food. And then to this, while it cooks down and while it simmers and while we build a sauce, you just want to add some thyme. And I mean, yeah, you can take the time and like make all the leaves go off and do it that way if you want to leave it in. I always just kind of like to throw a whole sprig in there, and then I'll just fish them out later. And any leaves that fall off during that cooking process, it's fine because they're totally edible. It's the stems that aren't edible. It's the only meat cooking for me usually. I'm gonna use chopsticks. That's fine. Hey, what's up guys? Today we're making onion ramen. Okay, so we'll let those cook down. We'll check on them in a bit. Okay, so the onions have cooked down a bit. I mean a fair amount. We're going to add just the highest quality red wine here. This stuff was pricey, but yeah, we're gonna add that much. How much is this? Isn't it illegal to not say how much this is? It doesn't say. So one of these, they're $5 at the liquor store by my house. And we'll cook this down until it looks like there's almost no liquid. And then we're gonna cook down some mushroom stock in it as well. Okay, so this wine's been cooked down and you can see it's starting to get a little bit syrupy. So now I'm gonna go in with mushroom stock. If you eat meat and wanna use beef stock, this would be the time to use it. And that's it. I'm just gonna let that cook down the same we did with the wine. And we're gonna get these we're gonna get French onion soup, but kind of reduced into a sauce. So it's got a little bit more richness. I don't usually use a lot of black pepper, but I really like black pepper here. So I'm gonna do some fresh cracked pepper into there. And yeah, just let that go. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so our onions and liquid are cooked down. I put, you know, a couple tablespoons of butter in there. Just stir it around till it's melted. And then, what's another thing you can do like ahead of time? So if you want to do this way ahead of time, you want to do this in the morning and eat it at night, go for it. It will be better that way because the flavors will get a little bit better. Also, you'll cool it and it's a little bit easier to put on bread when it's cooled, but we'll make do for the sake of the video, using it kind of hot, and we will be fine. Okay, so perfect grilled cheese. A few of my opinions on it is low heat is better. Take your time. I hate the seeing people do it and put it on the really high heat, and the bread gets really crispy really fast, and then they gotta finish it in the oven and squish it down. So honestly, just take your time. Use a fuck ton of butter, so much. So I'm gonna use quarter cup for one sandwich. Listen, I honestly never eat cheese. So I think my motto with eating in general is I try and eat pretty healthy, but if I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna go off. So if you're gonna make something, make sure it's the best of the best. I'm gonna throw some thyme in there to flavor that butter. Keep that away from the sandwich, but it'll flavor the butter, which would be nice. So yeah, use whatever bread you like. Normally I go sourdough with a lot of the dishes that I've done, but I kind of really like classic white French bread for this, or even honestly just classic white bread is there's something about that for grilled cheese. But yeah, I'm just gonna use this. I cut it thick. I like it really thick, and also I like to I like the airy, more airy types of bread. So you can I chose this one because it's got these little pockets, so that hopefully butter and cheese and all that stuff kind of falls into those. And then what you want to do is swirl these around and make sure that you pick up the bread and make sure that there's nothing untouched with butter. Because sometimes if you just plop it in, you'll think oh, it's sitting in so much butter, it must have so much on it, but that's actually not the case. You got to kind of rub it around and make sure that it gets into all those little nooks. There's not enough there. And there we go. We're gonna do that. I have cheese that I pre-grated. Now, because we're doing it low and slow, fuck, did I put my cheese in this? Because we're doing it low and slow, I'm gonna cheese both sides of the bread. And I finely grated this cheese. This is a blend of white cheddar and Gruyere cheese. Honestly, you're totally fine to just use white cheddar, or any cheddar for that matter. But I just wanted Gruyere because Gruyere is what you bake on top of a French onion. Since we have this French onion sauce that's going on there, I think it just makes sense. So, and don't worry if you I like to grate it because I find some lands in the pan and then it will cook onto the other side of the bread, which is really nice. You can also do that on purpose. But yeah, I'm just gonna slowly, very slowly, subtly cook this. Really take your time with this. Season it now. Wow. Right, I still know what I'm doing, it turns out. Not bad for winging it. I actually didn't wing it. Also, way back in the day, I one time did a French onion soup burger on a late night menu. And I always thought, wow, that was an amazing burger. Just gonna check me text here. What the fuck, there's a bee in here. Just got a new subscriber on YouTube, NetEagle2K9. Shout out. Okay, so you can see our cheese is starting to melt. And our bread on the other side is starting to get how I think it's really perfect. So I'm gonna start to put this French onion aspect on. Be pretty liberal with this. And like I said, this is still really, really hot. But if you make this ahead of time and cool it, you'll find you'll be able to put a little bit more of this sauce on because it will be thicker. because it will have cooled down. But I'm just gonna put just a little bit on there. Just because I don't want the bread to get soggy for Brendan. And then yeah, it's like kind of perfect. Like I took my time and did it low and slow, and the cheese is still melted. And I'll show you what the other side looks like. To me, that's what a perfect grilled cheese looks like. It'll be hot all the way through. That cheese is gonna be melted, and it's not gonna be too crispy. And it has enough butter to kill you, but with kindness. And then I'm gonna hit the whole sandwich with a little bit more salt. And just make sure the other side's not burning. Just talk about how good I am at making grilled cheeses and then fucking ruin it. Come on. Moment of truth. We're perfect. Okay, so that little bit of cheese I spilled, crusted around the corner, that's really a thing of beauty. I'm gonna season the other side too. And then, we're just gonna rest it. When you're doing anything with melted cheese, you should always rest it. So let's say like you make a pizza, you wanna cut it right away, just refrain from cutting it right away, because what happens is that cheese is actually so hot that you cut it and it immediately melts back together and you end up with this mess. You're trying to pull this cheese that's melting back together. Let it rest for a little bit, let the cheese kind of mellow out, start to cool down. Then you'll cut it, you'll get a clean cut, it'll look perfect. We'll show you the cross section of this sandwich. Jesus fucking Christ, this thing's no joke, dude.
This guy's trying to kill me.
This is the money shot. That looks good, dude. I'm hyped on that one. There it is, French onion grilled cheese. If you're on a diet, I would maybe not make this, but if you've been eating healthy all week and you're like, I need to treat myself, and you want to treat you or someone else, make this. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.